Jane and Darren's Big Backyard for Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. And Backer Design, celebrating 40 years of Norwegian stressless recliners.
And at 9:20, look who's wandered in, Jane. It's an old friend of ours, Martin Semken, from Semken Landscaping. And, well, it's an exciting time of the year. He is a busy man. Martin, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
You're busy heading off to Chelsea again.
I will be. Got MIFGS to do first, though.
Yeah, you're involved in that as well.
I always involved in that.
It's a nice thing to do, isn't it?
It's a great thing.
You've got about 3 things happening for the
We
Flower
are doing
Garden
3
show.
things, yeah. We've got Oasis that we do every year, have done every year for the show. And
don't tell me they're going to have sunflowers and veggies.
Definitely
Yay!
will. Well done, Jane. Another beautiful garden designed by Joby and Carolyn, and you know,
always win an award because it's sort of people's garden.
They always do.
It's a people's garden.
Yeah.
It's going to have flowers.
I think I judged that quite highly last year as one of the official judges.
Did you know that he was one of the official judges?
We did see him wandering around. Thought, what's he doing in here?
With a clipboard.
Someone said he's a judge.
Yeah, and I had a stopwatch. I had a stopwatch as well. They said, "What do you do that for?" I said, "Oh, no, it just makes me look more important."
Yeah, so we're doing that one, and then we're doing one with the Bay Road Nursery.
Yeah.
And Warner's Nurseries and us have joined together. It's been designed by an artist called Graham Altman, and he's a fine artist, and he's added art, but it's art from the 50s and 60s when art was affordable and fun rather than a symbol of how much wealth you've got.
Yes.
So it's like the Herald. Remember the old Herald and Sun art show that was held in the gardens, and you just walk along and see all hanging up out in the outdoors.
That's right.
Yeah. There's no tyres made into swans, but it's from that era.
Oh.
It was around the Moomba time, that.
Yeah, that's right.
Bored sideways as a little kid. I wanted to go to the Moomba parade.
Yeah.
And Mum would be at the Herald Sun art show.
The art show.
Yeah, so we've got some really great art involved in a garden where we've brought back a lot of the 50s and 60s plants.
Oh, we were just talking about Diosma and what's the other one that was so...
Nandina
Yeah,
domestica.
Together, they were
You
always
want to go out to
together.
Croydon Hills, there's plenty of them out there still.
Is there?
Yeah.
With big rocks?
Yeah, we call it Diosma land out there.
Diosma land. Good morning if you're in Croydon with a golden Diosma in your front yard.
Yeah, great place.
So what are the plans for the Chelsea Flower Show?
Oh, Chelsea Flower Show, well, there's 2 Australian gardens this year, which is
amazing.
A fantastic bit of
Yeah.
news,
There's
really.
with Wes and Flemings, and you've done that one already, haven't you?
We've done that. We were the first ones in 2004, so this is a return. Well, I've been back a couple of times, luckily, with Julian Dow. But this is Royal Botanical Gardens, designed by Jim Fogarty.
Yes.
And it's called The Journey of Water.
And is it representative of Australia through the story of water?
Correct. It's representative of Australia. It's also Jim's depiction of the Cranbourne Gardens, which stage 2 opens next year. So the whole idea is that this is let the world know that there's an amazing botanical garden about to open its next stage.
Oh, and this is really big stuff because very rarely do the English at Chelsea Flower Show, do they have, well, I don't think they've ever had an Australian exhibit in the main avenue.
That's correct. We've, over the last 7 years with Flemings and all the other Australians, there's been all sorts of firsts. But this is another first. It's the first Australian show garden in Main Avenue.
And so what will you be doing?
I've been lucky enough that we've been working on it for about 9 months and packing the true Australian content. Whilst the plants have been growing for nearly 2 years now, a lot of them a lot longer, but there's we've packed containers of Australian rock out of Mansfield, pebbles out of Harrietville, all sorts of granite that's been cut into salt sculptures.
Yeah. You're going over in shipping containers.
Yeah, that's all headed off the other day. And
how many containers?
Oh, just two really heavily packed ones.
Yeah.
Because there's all the other, like in the past we've taken tools, that's not required this time. It's just the product that's required. And we've been putting that together, and now I get emails of containers floating in the ocean and sinking and
don't think about it.
and all that sort of thing. I think Jim will be nervous. He's over there now.
Is he?
Yeah, and the seed bank from the from the Botanical Gardens, they've sent 10 seeds over and they've been propagated for the first time ever out of Australia.
And what sort of seeds?
Well, rare and
unusual
Australian native plants.
For the show?
To be put into this garden.
Oh, right.
So it's a chance to showcase
Australian stuff.
Stuff at that real high botanical level.
Yes.
You know,
So it'll be, because I mean, every time I go, I'm very lucky to have been many times, but we take our group, we go to Fleming's, and people are in awe of what those landscapers have done. And it's only there for 5 days, and you think, this is just amazing. And then when we've got the second big show for Cranbourne, you know, people are going to be really saying, wow, the Aussies are here to flying the flag indeed.
It's really great. Look, I mean, I think there's been stepping stones over 7 years of each year. You know, Great Australian Gardens, different crews, different designers, and to have Jim going back and representing the Botanical Gardens
fantastic.
It's really great.
And what I have had trouble getting my head around over recent years is just how big this thing is from a public's point of view, with making the front page of the newspapers every day, doesn't it? Like, it's bigger than the Australian Open, it's bigger than any news story.
Oh, yeah. When you get over there, you try to explain to people, this is big, like you've just done. But till you get there and you understand, you actually feel like a semi-celebrity, you know, a bit of a superstar. And I think it goes to Jim's head. Nah, that's all right.
Well, the Fleming boys have all met the Queen, and all sorts of things.
Yeah, Jim and I and Wes met the Queen and Mark, back in 2004. It was just a great experience. So to think that as gardeners, you get to... So every night, the BBC is huge over it, and it's just people just queuing up out the front to get there, and then the great last day when they buy the plants at the auction. And there's huge plants going off in a bus or in the tube. You see people at the tube station. It's just an event. So special.
Huge. It's like that funny line, I've forgotten who said it originally. It's the only other time I'd ever seen the Queen was on a postage stamp, so when I met her, I went up and licked the back of her head.
Jane and Darren's Big Backyard for Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning, and Backer Design, celebrating 40 years of Norwegian stressless recliners.
Martin Semken is with us. Martin, can you take a couple of calls with us?
I'd love to.
Oh, excellent. Kate, good morning.
Hello, Darren, Jane and Martin. How are you?
Good, Kate.
I was wondering if you can tell me if you know of a website or reference to find out about plants. I've got a scrapbook of plants that I've collected over time, and I've got to put it into a garden and starting from scratch. Yeah. And I can't remember what the plants look like or what they do.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think...
I Google each individual name, and it generally comes up fantastic results. Okay. And you get great images from all over the world, but certainly you'll get lots of options on each plant. You can see it grown advanced or even at nursery level.
Yeah.
And I think there's a nursery, Austraflora. Yep. They have a very good website. Austraflora. Okay. And that's obviously for Australian plants. Yep. Look, what else do I use?
They're mostly Australian native types.
Okay, well, that's plants. Probably the one for you then.
Yeah, okay, well, that'll be great. Thank you.
Terrific, Kate.
Good on you. Thanks, Kate. To Bob, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I've actually met you over at McHone's, Darren, on an occasion.
Oh, good on you.
I've got some pencil pines that they're about 20 feet high. Around the base or around the bottom, the leaves are turning black and dying off.
Ah. And is there any, like, you weren't in a flood area for them to get absolutely root rot, or...?
No.
Oh.
Are they close to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of them are.
And how much, like when you say black at the bottom, how much of the bottom of the foliage?
Oh, a couple of feet.
Oh. And can you rub the black off, or is it absolutely deado?
I haven't tried that. We've put some stuff on them called Mancozeb.
Yes, I know. That's a...
fungicide.
Fungicide, yes.
That's done nothing.
Huh. I wish I could sort of see the black stuff. Does it look like sooty mould, sort of?
Yes.
I wonder if that's just, from a scale. Yeah. You know how the scale, Bob, the scale is a little insect and it hides under a little shell like a little pimple, and it exudes this sticky stuff that then attracts this stuff called sooty mould, and it just looks like soot. Yeah. And if that's it, and if you can get it on your hands, and it is, you can rub it off, of course, you can wash it off, but the sooty mould, I reckon just a bit of white oil, or even if you trimmed off those branches. But try the white oil or the eco oil. Eco oil is just, it's not petroleum-based, and it's not harmful to the environment or anything, so try that. If it is that, I hope I'm right in saying it's black mould. Do you think it might be sooty mould?
Yeah, that's what it should be. We'd hope so. And realistically, with the white oil, you're just trying to clean them. That's...
And, Bob, what sort of bike do you ride?